Dude, we're right here. We have to talk about this video that I sent you of these people at the protests crying over the earth.
Oh yeah, we need to do that. Yeah.
This is the greatest. We're playing it right now in the background. You're seeing this. Here's what's happened, dude. Protests have become basically like woke conventions where people are like cornered off into like their own little subsections. And we're not talking about like actual, like when you were like marching, that's not really what we're talking about. We're talking about like bigger demonstrations in smaller towns that like didn't exactly like ask for it, you know? Yeah. Like in this situation, there are these people who are dancing for, I don't know, just like aborted babies or whatever. And then over in the corner, there's these people crying over the state of the earth, which I don't know if it's like a joke on Midsummer, like the movie where where a very similar thing was going on, but it feels genuine. It felt genuine when I saw it, and I saw her crying. I was like, oh, dude, she thinks best case scenario, this is like you get like a Jezebel article. Best case scenario.
All right, well, everyone just watched it. To me, it feels genuinely performative.
Oh, for sure.
It feels like
those are some theater majors.
Yes.
Those are theater majors.
Right. So it felt like a very enthusiastic performance. By no means did it feel like real emotion at all.
How do you get to that point, dude? How do you get to that point? How do you get to the point where you think that that's truly... How do you have enough confidence? I don't have enough confidence to like correct people when they get my order wrong at Starbucks. Yeah. Like, how do you have enough confidence to go to a public park and be like over there? How can you be so... Listen, I care about the earth as much as the next person. I really do. It means a lot to me. How can you be crying over the planet when you've seen 2% of it? You know what I mean? Like, there's no shred of legitimacy there. They're crying. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's like, it's the woke, because to me, I'm like, I don't really cry over anything. I cried one tear over my grandfather's funeral, dude. Like, I'm not that emotional. And I think about it and I'm like, dude, it's like to be weeping, to be like mourning over the, potential loss of the earth, whatever. I think it's all woke merit badges is the way you need to see it. It's like it's like your sash of woke merit, and you know what I mean? So it's like, oh, I can flex on you, say that I wept in Central Park over, the drying up of the Ganges. That's my merit badge.
I know. That's the thing I guess I don't understand. It's like, dude, if you're going to go to a public park and cry over the death of the earth, you're not allowed to wear all birds. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do that. Like, can't go... You got to start making your own clothes. You got to live in some kind of weird miniature home type situation, I bet, with like no run. Like, if you can't do one without the other. You know what I mean? If you're going to jump all in, if you're saying, you know what, today's the day, I stopped taking my Lexapro, I'm going to go sob in the park over some people in Sudan that I've never actually met. But I'm too scared to actually go there and do anything because I'm scared. Right. But I'm going to go weep for the ashes of the burnt pine trees,
Well, it was a environmental cause that they were weeping over, right?
I don't know. It's just said,
I believe it was.
The thing in the video, there was a sign that said like grief ritual. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was some sort of like mourning the death of the earth.
Rest in peace, Earth.
Well, it's also like, I mean, have you seen that? I mean, I feel like it's viral, but it's that clip of the woman just like, when Trump got elected. It's this woman. She's like, she's just screaming, and I'm just like, yo, like, I'm trying to think what could happen to me that would invoke that reaction, and I don't think it's anything to be, I just don't think it's anything, man.
You know what it could be? The only thing that has ever come close is the time that I ordered the grilled chicken nuggets at Chick-fil-A. And then I was like, that's really the closest I've ever come to that.
But even that, like, if you would have been lamenting your order at Chick-fil-A, you still would have reacted like that. That's such a weird reaction to be like, no, and scream it. Like,
that lady's seen one too many 80s movies and thought that she was going to be the voice of reason in whatever her social setting was there.
Well, I feel like, and I think this is like the problem with a lot of society is we're just like performing our emotions too much. We're just trying to like, we don't even really, we're not being authentic, and we're allowing no nuance. We're just kind of like acting the way we feel like we should act, you know?
The way that we've been told to act by.
Right. So if
the echo
someone's
chamber
like,
of our phones.
Right. So if someone were to say, for example, to me, they're like, hey, I'm not feeling very emotionally moved by the Black Lives Matter movement, and I'm concerned about that. I'm just not feeling that motivated to do anything or actually make change, and I would like to. You should just be able to accept that and be like, hey, man, well, like, that's cool that you want to change, but it's cool to just say, hey, it's concerning that I have no emotional reaction to, you know, the George Floyd video. And you can say, hey, I'm concerned because everyone seems to be reacting a lot over it, but I'm kind of desensitized to it. If someone says that, most people would be like, you're terrible. No one's going to be, they're just going to. Yeah. So I think there's this level of like, why don't we just talk to each other? Why don't we just try to help each other like understand our own point of views instead of just doing what we think, acting like we think we should act, and like. No,
we need to show the world the errors of its ways. By sobbing uncontrollably, guttural,
I guess so,
pre-womb natal noises.
Yeah.
To show how we've been ripped from the womb of Mother Earth. Like, that's the only way people are gonna find the reality people don't want to accept, though, is that, like, you're right. Like, it's almost like it's a bad thing to not be like visibly emotional over like these big issues, you know, something like George Floyd. So, but the reality is most people aren't willing to admit that they had a stronger emotional reaction to the ending of The Sopranos than they do to racial injustice.
Yes,
so
that's it. Right.
And if you're in that position, don't try to pretend. Don't try to go out there. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just try to be a good person and do actions, but you can't. I know that you wanted to see Tony Soprano killed at the end or whatever your deal is.
Yeah.
I don't think you've seen it. I don't think we can pontificate on the ending of The Sopranos.
No, but I know what you mean. I've watched a lot of. Well, my point is, I've gotten very emotional about things that I shouldn't have gotten that emotional about, and not very emotional about things I definitely should have. So, but I'm willing to admit that, and I'm willing to like change and figure out why that is. You know, instead of being chastised, I think. You know, why am I crying at the end of The Sopranos? But like I didn't cry, like, you know, maybe you didn't cry.
Because we missed Tony and we hope he didn't die.
And you were emotionally connected. So yeah, we just gotta talk more and be more understanding, and don't act like you don't react in a way. Don't act. It's so sad to watch someone just like feign emotion. Like,
it is sad. It's actually really pathetic when I see it. I'm like, I feel bad for that person. I'm like, dude, you are so uncomfortable with yourself that you feel like the only way that you can have any value in like the social marketplace is in atonement. Like, it's literally just hoping people see your anger and your grief and learn from that. Like, get real, dude. People are going to Del Taco after that bullshit.
Yeah,
they don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
Man. They're getting 2 for $2 cheesy bean burritos, bro.